So the next thing is section 7, which is tax liability on composite and mixed supply. What is the definition of composite and mixed supply? We'll come to that little later, but we'll understand. Tax liability on composite or mixed supply shall be determined in the following manner. Composite supply consisting of two or more supplies, one of which is a principal supply, shall be treated as supply of such principal supply, and in a mixed supply comprising two or more supplies shall be treated as supply of that particular supply which attracts highest rate of. For example, what is composite supply? We'll look at it very clearly. You will understand it. Again, this example will clear up what is a composite supply. Now, a five-star hotel in Mumbai provides a 4 days, 3 night package with breakfast. So this is a one night stay. This is a breakfast also is providing. Which is the principal supply? Which is the principal supply? Can you tell me? Maria, which is the principal supply? Is it the breakfast or is it stay?
The stays.
Stay. That is what is a composite supply. So you will take the rate which is applicable for the stay even for breakfast. That is what is a composite supply. So this is a composite supply as a package of accommodation facilities, and breakfast is a natural combination in the ordinary course of business of a hotel. In this case, the hotel accommodation is the principal supply and breakfast is ancillary to the hotel accommodation. Similarly, sale of laptop with bag. This is a composite supply because laptop bag is a natural requisite to carry a laptop. But if the customers opt for multi-purpose bag like backpack, it is not a composite supply since it's not naturally bundled. The word naturally bundled is what is very important here. Should be naturally bundled between the products. So now, a five-star hotel in Mumbai provides 3-4 days. This was one day, 4 3 nights package with breakfast and one day Mumbai Darshan. One day Mumbai Darshan. Inclusion of Mumbai Darshan in this package is not a natural requisite to the accommodation in the hotel. Hence, this does not amount to composite supply. This is a mixed supply. For the purpose of calculating tax liability, the rate of tax on the principal supply of such goods and services will be affected on the composite supply. Let us consider the example. A five-star hotel, if a five-star hotel in Mumbai provides 4 days and 3 nights package with breakfast, let us assume that hotel accommodation attracts 18%, whereas restaurant attracts 12%. As per the example, the hotel accommodation is the principal supply and the entire supply will be taxed at 18%. So it is a very clear example of understanding what is composite supply. Naturally bundled. Now you see, this Mumbai Darshan is not naturally bundled with the stay. It is an additional. It is not part of, we cannot imagine it part. But breakfast in the hotel still we can understand. So it is naturally bundled. That is the difference between composite supply and mixed supply. Why it is important? Because the way taxability happens is when it is composite supply, whatever is the principal supply, in this case hotel accommodation, that rate also will be applied for the breakfast also. Now let us look at mixed supply. Now you see a tie, a watch, a purse sort of thing, and a pen. Tie, watch, wallet, pen are bundled at a key as a kit. The supply of a tie does not naturally necessitate the supply of other items, watch, wallet, pen, vice versa. This kit is supplied as a single price for a single price. The supply of this kit is mixed supply. Now in that case, it's total bundled together rupees, say 5,000. So what is the rate that I'm going to apply to this? What is the GST rate? Should I apply for the tie rate? Should I apply this rate? Should I apply this rate? Should I apply this rate? Are they naturally bundled? No, they are not naturally bundled. Therefore, it's a mixed supply. Tax liability of mixed supply is as follows. To calculate the tax liability of mixed supply, the tax rate applicable on the goods or service attracting the highest rate in the combination of goods will be considered. So let us look at our example. Now, tie in this example, let us see tie is 12%, watch is 18, wallet is 12, and pen is 5. Indicated. These are not the rates actually, these are just indicated. Therefore, the watch attracts the highest rate in the mixed supply. Hence, the mixed supply will be treated as 5,000. So all put together, the one single price is fixed for 5,000. Then this will be taxed at 18%. That is why if you look at it, all the shops which are offering, especially the small retail, retail shops and all were offering buy one get one free different products. They will not, they or different mixed supply, they stopped because this is a problem. Immediately after a GST, everybody stopped such supply. The next is the levy. So we have understood section 8. Now we are going to understand section 9. What is section 9? This is a charge section. Like any act, there should be a charge section. So this is also quite important because based on this, now we have understood what is supply. Now we are going to understand, we understood composite supply. Now we are going to understand what is the charge on supply, levy and collection. Subject to the provisions of subsection 2. What is subsection 2? We'll come to that. There shall be levied a tax called central goods. This is because we are looking at CGST only. We are looking at the CGST Act. IGST is different. And service on all intrastate supplies of goods, because CGST is intrastate, or services or both, except on the supply of alcoholic liquor or for human consumption on the value determined under section 15, and at such rate not exceeding 20%, as may be notified by the government. So they cannot go beyond that. And on the recommendation of the council, collected in such manner as may be prescribed. So this is the charge section saying that tax will be levied as CGST on all intra-state supplies. Intra means within the state. Because IGST is used for outside, the between states. Now, central tax on supply of crude, petroleum crude, high-speed diesel, motor spirit as petrol, natural gas, and aviation turbine shall be levied with effect from such date as may be notified by the. So, which means today the difference between this and this is what? Number one, and this is number, all the others are number two. What is the difference? This alcoholic liquor and for human consumption is never going to be coming under GST. They said no, it will not come at all. Why? It is still a state subject. State levy the tax on this. So all the states have said no, this we will still continue because there's a lot of revenue there. They don't want to lose the revenue there, right? Still, all it is state excise there, they levy state excise. Whereas petrol, diesel, etc., are still not come under GST, but will come at a later date, is what they are told. Okay, so that is the difference between this alcoholic liquor is coming, sir. Here is coming. This is the difference. That petrol, diesel, etc., will come in the future. In fact, that's always the some governments are saying no, some governments are saying yes, and but who will decide? The council. Who? What is the council? It's the central government and all the states put together. The government may, on recommendation of the council, by notification, specify certain categories of supply of goods or service, or both. The tax on which shall be paid on reverse charge basis by the recipient of such goods, or both, on all the provisions of this act shall apply to such recipient as if he is a person liable to paying the tax in relation to such goods. What is reverse charge? I will explain later. Now don't bother about it. Because we need to discuss that a little bit more, but not at the moment. Reverse charge. So this is what reverse charge. On what? On certain goods and services which is notified by the government by notification they have issued. Specified categories. What is 9(4)? Again, same reverse charge only. They have again, the way Act came, they have changed this 9(4). It is similar to 9(3) only, but again, certain categories only will be falling under this, At the moment, it is again from unregistered suppliers. If you buy from an unregistered supplier, this will attract. But now here they have only put in real estate sector. Only real estate will come under this particular 9.4. And here they have specified certain categories only where it will come. So to that extent, they have initially the way it came, 9.4 was applicable for everybody. Now they have said, no, they have changed the law. They have changed the law. This is also reverse charge, mind you. This is also reverse charge. This is also reverse charge. What is reverse charge? I explained, but I'm just trying to say that this is for certain categories is only applicable. Here also certain categories is specified. There's no need for two sections. But what happened? 9.4 did not work. It failed. So they didn't want to remove it. So they said specific categories, unnecessarily they kept it. Actually, there is no difference. Only here it is unregistered supplier. Here it can be with registered also. So there's no difference, but they still kept it because they didn't want to say that we failed in this particular section. And they have included unnecessarily real estate under this. Okay. Now, apart from that, there are 5 is for other categories like specified categories of intrastate supply on electronic commerce operator like Amazon or your Flipkart. Anybody dealing through these people have to get registered. If supplies are such supplied through it, the provisions of the Act will apply. So those cases, if you come through this, provided that where an electronic commerce operator does not have a physical presence in a taxable territory, any person representing such electronic commerce operator for any purpose in such territory shall be liable to pay tax. Provided further that where an electronic commerce operator does not have a physical presence in the taxable territory, also he does not have a representative. Here it person whose representative will be taxed. Here he doesn't have a representative. Such electronic commerce operator shall appoint a person in the taxable territory for paying the tax. So it is applicable for electronic commerce operator. If he doesn't have a physical presence here, he should represent somebody. Somebody has to be representing him. That representative will be there. If there is no representative, then he has to appoint somebody to do for who will pay the taxes on behalf of the electronic commerce operator. It's not important for us, but there are certain things that may come, theory may come. So, what is the levy on? Levy is on what rate to be notified shall not exceed 20%. And it has been notified subsequently also. On what value? Value, this is the HSN code wise breakup of what rate will apply for each item that is there. Okay. Well, on what value? Value determined under section 15. We are going to look at section 15 a little later in a day or two. When CGST, SGST on intrastate supply, CGST, SGST. On IGST, one IGST on interstate supply between states. This is within state transaction. One supplier to another supplier. This is between states. Supplier A is here, supplier B is here. 2 states. Then this transaction is IGST will apply. Place of supply, this is an IGST. Place of supply is not there in your syllabus, but if there is a need, just we look at it a little bit, but that is coming under IGST law, not under CGST law. We are now looking mostly at CGST. SGST, we'll look at it because it's a duplicate of this. SGST is absolutely duplicate. Only it is for each state, it will be different act. We will not be looking at it. There's no need. That's why we are looking at CGST only and little bit of IGST. Other aspects, state governments notify supplies on which reverse charge will apply. That is what we said, 9.3 and 9.4. Mind it is all done by the council. So state government to specify supplies on which electronic commerce would be liable. This is also 9.5, what we saw. GST on diesel petrol to be levied with effect from a future date, still not notified, still it is outside, is not covered. Central state government to notify supplies on which will apply, same thing, the same reverse charge. This is 9.3 94. Again, e-commerce operator also same. So more or less it's the same thing that is being talked about. Okay. This is composition scheme. Composition scheme is if somebody aggregate turnover does not exceed, again here there is a small correction we need to do. It is now, it was 1 crore, they 75 lakh, they increased it to 1 crore. Now it is 1.5 crores. Huh? Please correct it. Then they need to pay in these rates, reduced rates. Just hold back. We'll stop here for this thing and just continue with a little later. Just wait for a minute. Okay, so what we are discussing was for small people, small traders below the turnover limit of 1.5 crores, they can go for presumptive sort of taxation, which we looked at income tax. That means they can just pay CGST of 1%, that is total 2%, is this thing of 5% total, because this is only CGST, mind you. So SGST also they have to pay. So total will be 5, and this is 1%. Then they don't, but the problem is they cannot take input tax credit. It is like presumptive tax, but there are certain restrictions as to who can take this composition scheme. So who are the people that can take? Registered person shall be liable to opt under subsection 1. First thing, they have to get registered, subsection 1, if he is not engaged in the supply of services other than food and beverage. He's not engaged. But here also there is a small amendment that has happened. Up to 10% of supply he can still do. 10% of services he can do of the total turnover. These are amendments that has happened. Generally it was only for food and beverage they could do it, that is hotel industry, but now they have allowed more relaxation, where up to 10% of the total turnover can be supplied. Here earlier it was totally restricted, no supply except food and beverage, that is hotel. But they have said now up to 10% they can go. He is not engaged in making any supply of goods which are leviable under the tax. That is, he should not have any non-GST items. Non-GST items. Again, these are all very difficult to understand. Non-GST items, that also I think they have relaxed a little bit. He is not engaged in making interstate. Wait 1 second. He is not engaged in interstate outward supplies of goods. That means he should only be doing within the state supply, no interstate transaction. Not engage supply of goods through electronic commerce. Plus, just check this out with the material, okay, the changes, because that is important. There has been some changes in that. As I told you, this is supply is allowed up to 10% of the turnover. Supply of service is allowed. Earlier it was not allowed, only food and beverage was allowed. Now supply of service is allowed up to 10%. Similarly, some small changes are there. He is not engaged in supply through e-commerce operator. He is not a manufacturer of goods not notified by the government on recommendations. Certain manufacturers are not allowed. For example, this cigarettes, BD, etc. Those people will not be allowed under presumptive. However, if a person has multiple registrations on the same PAN, he shall opt for composition scheme for all registrations. So if he's got multiple registration, if he wants to take, everybody has to come under this presumptive. The composition scheme option avail shall lapse with the effect from the day on which the aggregate turnover exceeds 1.5 crores. Again, please correct it here. It is 1 crore. I'll correct it and put it. So 1.5 crores. Okay. At present, the scheme person opting for composition scheme shall not collect any tax from the recipient of supplies and shall not be entitled to any input tax credits. Both he cannot collect, he cannot do, because it's already is being given a concessional rate. If the proper officer has reasons to believe that the taxable person has paid a tax on the composition scheme despite not being eligible, that person, in addition to any tax, any tax may be payable by him under the other provisions of this act. Suppose somebody is not eligible for composition, that means his turnover is more than 1.5 crores, and still he is going for composition. That is when this section will apply, and he will be liable for penalty under section 73 or 74 shall apply mutandis apply for determination of taxes. That means he will be taken strongly if he is going for this, because he is getting a concession. So if he is having a turnover of more than 1.5 crores, or if he is doing interstate transaction and still going for presumptive, then he will be in trouble, and he will be penalized. Now this is a summary of the section. Again, here also you need to correct a little bit. Except service of provider saying, and up to 10% of turnover is still allowed now. Then here also 1.5 crores. Should not engage in interstate supply, should not engage in supply of except livable, supply of goods through e-commerce or should not be livable, and so on. These are all we have discussed. I'm not getting that. Here also 1.5 crores. And he cannot collect tax from recipients. Okay. So more or less I have covered what is supply. Now we will look at the problems relating to this.